Hey Sam, I've got your KR Flagship that I just recently finished and wanted to make a video to serve as like a demo video and operation guide for the Saber. So first I'll start on the outside and explain everything that I did and then move on to the inside. So at the top here I have a blade plug that I made from found parts. I used a thick-walled lightsaber blade, cut it down to a size, and then put this found part in there. I had it on hand, and these hilts don't come with a blade plug, and I put this in here and thought that looked pretty nice. So I'll be sending that out with you. These are the shrouds that we selected off of the Saber Armory. They look really cool, you know, Cal Kestis-esque, and when you have a blade in it, the light shines through here, and that looks really cool too. So hope you're happy with that. Moving on down, there's these dual tactile switches from the Saber Bay. It's cool because they use a hole that's really meant for a 16mm AV switch, and it makes it to where you can put two buttons in there. So you got that. Then moving on down, this grip we printed off of Shapeways in versatile plastic, black colored, and it looks really good. I mean, it's plastic, but it looks really high quality, feels really good. The texture is really good. It's not too thick, so in the hand it just feels really good, and it really fits this Saber. This is not something I designed, by the way. This was something that is a design that's uploaded to Shapeways already that you can have printed. So yeah, that's everything on the outside. Moving on to the inside of the Saber, when you're taking this grip off, you want to, as soon as you can, hold the chassis in place. It's not like glued or anything, so just hold on to the chassis, and then you can twist the handle back and forth and slowly slide it off. So when you get to the speaker, it's a little bit tighter, but if you just keep doing the same thing, it comes right off, nice and easy. So here is your chassis and the electronics. This chassis I did design myself and print through Shapeways as well. On the front, you do have SD card access. I can do it with my fingers, but it's a little bit tough, so I do advise using a pair of tweezers to get to that if in the future you decide that you want to be able to add your own sound fonts. I did add everything that you had asked for, but if down the road you learn how to do it and you want to do it yourself, you do have access to that. On the flip side, you do have a removable battery. Spring side is your negative down here in the hilt. And then moving on down, you do have a crystal chamber with a real quartz crystal. And it looks really good when it's lit up because the crystal, it just came really cracked and chipped. So the light reflects like really well. So I thought that was really cool. And then you do also have a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost speaker that is fully enclosed. This is one of the best ways to get the best sound quality you can out of these lightsabers. So yeah, I was really happy that we were able to design a chassis that was able to accomplish that. And that is why it's a little bit tighter down here. When I put the speaker in, it bubbles out and expands a little bit, so I had to sand it down. That's why you can kind of see it's roughed up down here, but took some sandpaper, sanded it down a little bit, and now the grip can slide over it. So I'll go ahead and put a battery in, and I'll do a little bit of demoing of the features, and then I'll put a blade in and show you that as well. So earlier I mentioned that it's spring side is your negative. On this sticker you can see it's got a negative here, positive here. Flat side negative, button top positive. So you want the negative side down always to the spring. If you have it flipped, you could fry the electronics and damage it, and we'd have to repair that. So take your time, always make sure you have the battery in the right way.
I might be one of the last of my kind.
So that is the boot sound for one of the Cal Kestis fonts I put on there. This one is, I believe it's from Repulse Customs, and I put it on there because it has a lot of really cool extras and add-ons in terms of quotes, and like when you do like blaster deflects and stuff like that, which I'll show you, it has like quotes after the blaster deflects, and it's really cool because it's really immersive, makes you feel like you're playing the game. So I'll show that off as well a little bit. So when you're putting the grip back on, same process for when you took it off. hold the chassis so that you're not just twisting the whole thing back and forth, and just slowly twist and wiggle it back on. And the other thing I do recommend is unthreading the pommel a little bit, and then once you get this section all the way on, twist this down just to where it's snug. Due to the length of the chassis, these things don't thread on all the way, but I figured having that little gap down here looks a lot better than having it right here. You know, you can barely even tell. It almost looks like that's how it's supposed to be. So you don't have to torque it on really tight, just to where it gets snug, and you'll notice that nothing rattles around. So I made the top button your activation and the bottom button your auxiliary. So you'll see all the different functions with those. So if you press the power,
how predictable.
There's a little preon and it turns on. There's a lot of different preons with this one. I did include another Cal Kestis font and it doesn't have preons, I believe. So if you don't like it, you can switch over to that one and it's just a plain lightsaber. So with the CFX, you do have smooth swing. Flash on clash.
Help me, BD.
See, there's another little post quote even to clashing. So if you're in a lightsaber duel, that was like him having a little stim to refill his health. Bottom button, if you hold it, it's a saber lock. And then after some of them, there is a quote. Or a little track like that that'll play to simulate combat. Let's say you don't like the color. You can hold down the bottom button and twist your hilt to do the spectrum mode. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually set up to where it's just a quick change when you do that. So you can cycle through the colors that way. But if you actually press both buttons at the same time, it'll do that spectrum mode. So I just press both buttons with my thumb. And then you can twist it, cycle through all the different colors. So typically has a blue saber. So you can just hold the auxiliary button a little bit and release and it'll select that color. If you hold the aux button and you do a hard swing, it'll activate a quote. On this particular font, they're just kind of like force sound effects, but on other fonts, they'll be like character quotes and such.
Thanks for the help back there, BD. You saved my life.
Super cool. I love it. So one thing I forgot to show you when I put the battery in is the crystal chamber. So let me take this back off real quick. All right. So if you turn on the saber, you can see the crystal. And as you can see, there's a little bit of cracks and stuff, and it looks really cool. And it does everything the blade does. It is wired in line, meaning that when you do like saber locks, flashes along with it. With some of the blaster deflects, it'll light up because the effect that's on the blaster deflect is that a little spot on the blade will flash at random points. So sometimes it'll land near this pixel that's for the crystal chamber. But you'll see in the blade that it does it everywhere. So yeah, and then when you do your little spectrum mode, this changes along with it. So whatever the blade color is, the crystal will be as well. I'll put on that icy blue. It looks really good. All right.
Shit, I can't pick any kyber crystal. It chooses you.
All right, so I'll cut the video and switch it over and I'll do a little blade demo for you. All right, so to put the blade in, you'll just want to take out your blade plug. And then the hilt did not come with Allen keys, but these will be with your saber. I bought these for you. The largest size should be the one for your blade. So there's 2 retention screws on here. This one is for your blade. This one you don't want to touch. It's a smaller one, and it's for the NPXL connector in there, so you never have to touch that. So you just go ahead and loosen that up a little bit. And then this split, the Neopixel blade I made for you using a Saber Bay kit that they have. So you insert the blade. You'll hear it and feel it hit the pins. You just want to push down just a little bit and tighten the retention screw at the same time, just to make sure that there's contact with those pins in there. Don't want to push down too hard. No need to do that, and you don't want to break the pins. So, like I said earlier, top button is power, bottom is auxiliary. So you can hit power.
You would be wise to surrender.
Shines all the way to the tip of the blade. Blaster deflects is the auxiliary button, the bottom one.
Helmet Jedi.
You can hold down the bottom button for saber lock. And then if you hold down auxiliary and you swing, a lot of fonts have quotes that'll play. This particular one does not. It has, I think, some force sounds and whatnot, so I'll demo that. So there you go, there's like a force sound from Fallen Order game. And then if you press it and swing, it'll activate like a little battle mode. And every time you swing the saber after that, it'll act as if you're deflecting a blaster. So I'll demo that too.
Blast him again!
So as you can see, I wasn't pressing any buttons, but I was still doing some blaster deflects. After you don't do it for a little bit, it turns back off and it returns to normal.
Always looking on the bright side. Thanks, buddy.
And then, if you want to play the track for each font, you just double click the power button.
Surrender the holocron.
You're learning. Not quite as gifted as Sir's last apprentice, but not bad.
So that one, I think, actually does not have a track.
Selection.
So this is the other Fallen Order font. This should have one. There you go. And you can still do everything as normal with the music playing. If there's multiple tracks, you can hold down the same button and it'll switch. Double click to turn it off. And all the fonts, like I said, that you wanted are on here.
Soundbank selection.
Ancient prophecies.
So, that's a stock font. Here's your first Fallen Order font. That's the Repulse Customs Copestis font.
Revan. Reborn.
It's a Revan font.
Traitor!
Unstable by Kyberphonic.
If you're gonna face them all, you'll need these.
Commander Tano by Kyberphonic.
This part is over.
And then from Kyberphonic's Hero Pack, there's Mace Windu and Anakin.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Obi-Wan as well.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
This part. If you're gonna face them all.
Traitor!
So I'll demo this one real quick.
I know what I have to do.
Got an unstable blade with this one. As you can see, that lockup is responsive, so when you tilt the blade, the saber lock moves up and down the blade. Demo one more.
Soundbank selection.
If you're gonna face them all, you'll need these.
Anakin, good luck.
So if you don't like yellow, you can change the color by holding both buttons. And then you can twist, pick whichever color you want. Hold down the auxiliary button. that is your saber. If you have any other questions, you can always let me know. I'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching.